I'm meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Checking out our next weather maker. It is here. This front moves in and brings us the rain that will last for all through the weekend. We'll take a look at.
And smoke for miles. A brush fire was burning for hours in Orange County. How just close it was to 2 schools. Plus, final stretch. The Carolina Hurricanes are less than a handful of wins away from the Stanley Cup final. A look ahead at their big game tonight at Lenovo Center. Let's go Canes. Let's go Canes. Hey, thanks for joining us this Thursday morning on WRAL News. I'm Chris Lovingood. We do want to swing over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner because, Elizabeth, yes, it's Memorial Day weekend. People want to know, will that on the radar behind you interrupt their weekend plans?
And you know, it depends. Most likely, yes, unfortunately. However, we need the rain so badly. We take a look at our next weather maker. The front is showing up stationary here, but it's still creeping a little bit farther to the east. Of course, we're looking at the showers developing across the mountains, and we'll see that here much later on today. Right about the time of the evening commute, we'll end up with a chance for some showers and thunderstorms. We'll take a look at our Garner Tower. All is dry, so this is not going to be an issue for our morning commute. 71, it is a warm start. We still have a southwest wind at around 8 miles per hour. 68 Roxborough and Rocky Mount, 69 in Southern Pines, and rain arrives this evening. Today will be cooler, at least to start the day. At lunchtime, temperatures will be in the upper 80s, but we have a nice long string of 70s this morning. 93 this afternoon. We hit 96 yesterday. It's not much of a change, but a little bit. And then after that, temperatures will be much cooler. Look at our chances for rain. It's 40 today, 50 tomorrow, 60 Saturday, 70 Sunday, 60 Monday. So yes, it is possible that it could affect your plans, but a lot of what we'll see this weekend is afternoon and evening thunderstorms. We'll walk through that and talk about how much rain we'll see coming up.
All right, that sounds good, Elizabeth. Let's get to some breaking news over in Raleigh as a woman was found stabbed near the Moore Square bus station downtown. What you're seeing is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker around 3 this morning, and you can see the officers there at that bus station. Now, the woman is expected to recover, but there's no word yet on whether anyone is in custody. And we're also working to learn more about a shooting. This happened over in Durham. Police say they found someone with a gunshot wound around 1:30 this morning, and our team saw investigators near the Independence Park Apartments. That's on William Penn Plaza, if you're familiar. We have reached out to Durham Police for more information about what happened in this case. Firefighters stayed at the site overnight of a brush fire in Orange County, and the fire broke out on Sewell School Road in Carborough on land owned by UNC Chapel Hill, and that smoke was visible for miles in every direction. The fire was in the woods just south of Sewell Elementary School, and that's right next to Smith Middle School. Part of the road was closed for hours last night while teams were putting out the flames, but nobody was injured. Investigators have not said, though, what caused that fire. And then you have another fire that broke out yesterday at a recycling facility in Raleigh. The WRAL breaking news tracker was at the scene at Foss Recycling on Garner Road. A large piece of machinery caught fire in the junkyard area, and this is the second fire there in the last few months. Well, the list of schools in the Triangle with air conditioning issues in Wake County, it's growing. Most recently, Reedy Creek Elementary School in Cary started seeing issues, and Durham Public Schools says that it is also addressing problems at their schools. 15 schools in Wake County had emergency work ordered for their HVAC systems this week. In fact, on Tuesday, the chief of facilities said the problem is happening because of aging infrastructure, as well as a lack of funding needed to fill maintenance positions. All right, tonight, the wait is over. The Carolina Hurricanes will be back on the ice to get to the Eastern Conference Final started. And we have WRAL's Kelsey Coffey live inside Lenovo Center. Kelsey, there's a lot of excitement in the air ahead of the puck drop for Game 1. It's a little dark behind you there. There's a rink, not much going on, no lights.
Well, Chris, it's a little early, so we're trying to give everyone a chance to wake up here at Lenovo Center. It's quiet here for now, but we know that the loudest house in the NHL will be packed tonight for Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final. These seats will be filled with Caniacs in just a few hours. You're looking at video from yesterday's practice. The Canes are returning to the ice tonight after nearly 2 weeks off. They're going head-to-head against the Montreal Canadiens. This is the third time in the last 4 seasons the Canes have played in the Eastern Conference Final. They're aiming to get over that hurdle to advance to the Stanley Cup Final for the first time since 2006 when they won the Cup. We caught up with the team after practice about how they're feeling going into Game 1.
Obviously, playing a highly skilled team, they just had two very emotional series going to Game 7 and winning both on the road just says a lot about their group. And, like I said, we're just really excited to get going here.
Our WRAL sports team will have all of your pregame coverage later today, and we'll have all of the game's big moments in our late newscast. Puck drop is tonight at 8 o'clock. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh. And
if you work at the Novo Center and you're listening to this, please turn the lights on for our friend Kelsey. Well, the Western Conference final got started last night, and the Vegas Golden Knights got out to a pretty fast start. They defeated the Colorado Avalanche in Game 1, 4-2. And the winner of this series will face either the Canes or Canadiens in the Stanley Cup final. Well, today, people in Durham County can give their thoughts on spending priorities. The annual resident budget survey launches today, and your response will be presented to the county commissioners at one of several work sessions. A session will be held at 1 this afternoon, and the survey will be open until Tuesday. The Nash County Sheriff's Office says it is investigating vandalism after a car was keyed with a racial slur. Dorian Wilson was at his younger brother's Little League baseball game on Monday. When they returned to their car, they found a racist slur and graphic drawing keyed into the side of his car. Deputies are searching for whoever is responsible. And Wilson says this situation highlights a painful reality that racism is still very much alive.
As a person of color, I'm extremely upset. My feelings are hurt for my little brother because, for an 8-year-old to see that, he shouldn't have to experience nothing like that, man, not at an age like that.
And Wilson says he will probably have to pay out of pocket for repairs, but he'll do what he has to for that word to be removed. The U.S. military says that it boarded and redirected an Iranian-flagged oil tanker in the Gulf of Oman. U.S. Central Command says the tanker was believed to be headed to an Iranian port. And the move happened just days after President Donald Trump said he's pausing planned military strikes on Iran to allow time for negotiations.
If I can save war by waiting a couple of days, if I can save people being killed by waiting a couple of days, I think it's a great thing to do.
And the closing of the Strait of Hormuz has disrupted global oil supplies. In fact, the U.S. military says more than 1,500 ships from 87 countries are stranded in the Persian Gulf right now. And it's because of that blockage that we continue to monitor the effect on local gas prices. Today in Raleigh, on average, a regular gallon of gas costs $4.23. That's up 44 cents over last month. In Goldsboro, that gallon goes for $4.14, and in Fayetteville, it's $4.11. This morning, Wake County Public Schools will start their graduation season, and there will be 36 graduation ceremonies from now to mid-June. WRAL's Ali Kadhabar joins us live from Martin Marietta Center for the Performing Arts. And Ali, most of the graduations will be in downtown Raleigh.
Yeah, Chris, and that means people should keep in mind traffic, construction, and parking. There will be 6 ceremonies here at the Mandy Hall between today and tomorrow. Now, there will be 31 graduations in total in downtown Raleigh at Martin Marietta Center for the Performing Arts or the Raleigh Convention Center. Wake County Public Schools says to give yourself plenty of time for travel and parking. There's a map with parking recommendations on Wake County Schools' graduation page. Wake Schools says people should be aware of street closures, South Street between McDowell and Dawson, and a partial lane closure at the corner of South Street and Salisbury. Now, students should be there an hour before. Everyone else should be seated 15 minutes before. The graduation starts today at 8 a.m. And tomorrow, and then pick back up again June 8th through June 16th. You can check out a full schedule on WRAL.com. Reporting live in Raleigh, Ali Kadhabar, WRAL News.
A public hearing in Chapel Hill will give families a chance to comment on potential school closures. Chapel Hill Carrboro School District leaders have narrowed the list of possible school closures, and that includes Ephesus Elementary School, Glenwood Elementary School, and Sewell Elementary School. And to ensure there's room for everyone, today's hearing will be held in the Smith Middle School auditorium. That begins at 7 tonight. At least one person was arrested after a woman was found dead after an apparent dog attack. 84-year-old Betty Alston was found dead outside her home, surrounded by 3 dogs. The Chatham County Sheriff's Office says Dennis Faulkner owns the dogs, and he now faces 6 charges because of this. The victims' family members tell WRAL the neighbors called animal control on these dogs before. A police officer in the town of Coates who is charged in a shooting is expected to make his first court appearance this morning. The SBI arrested Ricardo Anderson. He's charged with assault with a deadly weapon, and the SBI says Anderson shot a man he was trying to take into custody. This happened at a gas station on North McKinley Street back in November. Anderson was given a $25,000 bond. Well, today, Fort Bragg will host a Memorial Day remembrance ceremony. Gold Star families and loved ones are expected to travel from across the country for this event. That will be held at the Memorial Plaza at 9 a.m. And the ceremony will conclude with a wreath laying, a moment of silence, and a flyover. It's 4:40 this Thursday morning. Proposals approved. There will be 2 potential constitutional amendments on November's ballot. Why political parties are split about what those changes could mean for you. And struggling to keep up. Some 911 calls are being put on hold in Durham County. Why the county's EMS chief says the current system, it's not sustainable.
And our next weather maker is moving in. This front will park itself over us for the weekend. I'll walk you through the timeline for the showers. 444, our next weather maker sliding into the mountains right now, and it's just going to park itself over us all weekend long, you know, kind of like the relatives that stay all weekend and you wish they would leave. We need the rain, but of course it has to come right here for our holiday weekend. Expect this afternoon to start to see some showers and thunderstorms, especially around the time of the evening commute. That's about the time that it will start to get messy. We're mainly clear right now, though, so it's going to be a nice start to the day, and with clear skies this morning, we are likely to have another hot afternoon. We're not going to set any records, but we'll still be up into the 90s. 68 in Lewisburg, 67 Fayetteville, 67 South Hill, and 66 in Goldsboro right now. So very similar to the temperatures that we saw this time yesterday. We'll hold it in the 70s all the way up until around 11 o'clock, but then we'll climb to 93, and then the thunderstorms will start. And so that's why our temperatures will be hot today. We just don't see that rain developing until maybe later in the evening. Once it gets started, we have a good chance for rain each day well through the middle of next week. I'll show you how much we could see coming up, Chris.
All right, that sounds good, Elizabeth. We'll see your full forecast in a bit. The prosecution arrested its case in the trial of a former assistant principal in Virginia. Ebony Parker is accused of ignoring warnings about a 6-year-old student who brought a gun to school and shot a teacher. That happened in Newport News in 2023. The student shot and injured teacher Abigail Warner, and the prosecution argues that Parker stayed in her office after she was warned about the weapon. They also say that she did not order a search, call police, or remove the child from class. Parker's lawyers say that other staff members at the school also had opportunities to intervene. Parker could face up to 5 years in prison if convicted on each count. Well, there's new data that shows that it's getting harder and harder for Durham County EMS to keep up with the number of 911 calls. Numbers from the County Office of Emergency Services show the number of calls coming in is very high. Specifically, it's exceeding the number of emergency crews able to respond to 16 hours every day. Now, we're talking about this meaning lower priority calls that are being put on hold more frequently and for longer periods of time. Actually, WRAL previously reported on the toll staffing shortages are taking on paramedics. Chief Paramedic Seth Kamansky says this year was the first time since 2018 any new full-time EMTs have been added. It's also the first time in 10 years they've gotten a new ambulance.
We identified that the deployment model for Durham County EMS is about 10 years old in terms of units on the streets versus the call volume.
He says compensation is also a challenge compared to neighboring agencies. He says this system, it's not sustainable, partly because it's burning out their staff. One option they're exploring is to add non-paramedics to their teams while continuing to interview potential new recruits. Proposals to limit North Carolina's income and property taxes are coming to the ballot in November. State lawmakers approved 2 constitutional amendment proposals, and one of those proposals seeks to permanently cap the state's income tax rate at 3.5%. The other aims to limit property tax increases at the local level. Republicans who support the measure said they could provide tax relief when other costs are rising, but Democrats say the measures could limit local government revenue. They argue that could potentially force cuts to schools, police, and other government services. The State House voted to override Governor Josh Stein's veto of a bill that would give tax breaks to people who donate to educational scholarship programs. Republicans say it's about school choice, but opponents call it a backdoor voucher system, pulling money and students away from public schools and strains already tight school budgets. The fight now moves to the Senate for its final vote. Well, there's a warning for dog owners this morning as state officials are reminding people of dangers of rapid increases of algae in the water. The abnormally warm air that we have experienced in the past week has led to a heightened risk of algal blooms. Now, the toxins can cause health problems for people and their pets. State officials are encouraging people to avoid any contact with discolored water. It's not possible to tell whether a bloom is harmful just by looking at it. Something to keep in mind. Okay, so you want to know about your weekend forecast. Obviously, Memorial Day weekend, you may be getting out to the coast, you may be staying here. Well, Elizabeth Gardner is going to walk you through the next weather maker to explain how this is going to affect your plans.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be rainy during the holiday weekend, but it's probably not going to be a total washout. So you just may have to plan around the rain. This is a look at why we're going to see it. We've got this front that moved in. It's draped across the mountains right now. It's just going to sit close by us all the way through the weekend. This morning, our skies are clear. At 9 o'clock, it looks like we still have sunshine, but just after lunchtime, the skies will start to cloud up, and by the evening commute, we begin to see a couple of isolated showers. Nothing big. I don't think it's going to be probably a real big deal for the evening commute, but we continue to see that chance overnight. There's 11 p.m. and early in the morning tomorrow. It's possible that we would still have a few lingering showers for the morning commute tomorrow, but nothing looks terribly heavy. We do have a small chance mid-afternoon, but again, that chance just keeps going up as we get through the evening. Here's a look at our Garner Tower, and the skies are clear right now in Garner. 71 degrees. It's warm. It's a little muggy, and we continue to have this southwesterly flow at 8 miles per hour. We'll still be on the warm side this afternoon. 66 in Fuquay Marina, 71 in Garner. It's 68 in Wake Forest right now. And around town, we don't break any records today, but it's still going to be hot. I mean, just a few degrees cooler than yesterday because the rain doesn't kick in until after we see the heating of the day. So 93 Raleigh and Durham, 95 in Fayetteville. The record high for today is 96, so we'll just be a few degrees off of it. Tailgating for the Canes, I really feel like at 6 o'clock you're probably going to be okay. I mean, maybe a little bit iffy. A much better chance that there's some showers and thunderstorms coming out of the game after the Canes win. Yes, did you hear that? That's my forecast. Fingers crossed. I know nothing about sports. This is all in fun. 93 for our high temperature today versus the record of 96, and then 95 versus 99 in Fayetteville. So no record heat today, but we're awfully close to it. We continue to see our southerly flow today, but look at the difference. We go from 93 today to 73 tomorrow, all because of the wind shift. The front sinks southward, and that delivers some cooler air, and we'll see that through the weekend. It'll be slightly warmer Saturday, Sunday. Temperatures will be back into the low 80s. 82 Saturday, 83 Sunday, then 87 on Monday. This is 7 days in a row of rain. I can't even remember when we had 7 days of rain in our forecast. We'll talk about how much of that could add up in the rain gauges. Chris?
A lot of people want to know that answer, Elizabeth. Well, your time is 4:50, and we're talking about Teacher of the Year. The educator celebrating the honor in Wake County and the message he has for others. Plus tributes and new seasons. The honor for Kerry Washington and the show getting the green light. That's right after the break in the Hollywood Minute. Wake County has revealed its 2026 Teacher of the Year. Martin Monty is in his 4th year at Apex Friendship Middle School's teaching 7th grade social studies. And outside the classroom, he serves as co-chair of the school's equity committee. In that role, he's able to provide staff with the tools to uphold justice, love, and compassion when navigating tough topics in the classroom.
How blessed we are, all those who are in education, to stand beside our students and encourage them as they become champions of compassion, of justice, and unity in our world today.
And he will be invited to the Go Global NC International Study Program in Argentina next year. He received several other prizes as well. The city of Raleigh announced its plans for the July 4th parade. That parade will go through downtown Raleigh starting at 9:30 in the morning. It'll include marching bands, musical performances, dancers, and performers, too. Organizers say that it will honor the, quote, rich history of the state and the spirit of the nation. The trial of Michael Jackson is the subject of a new documentary series, and David Daniel has that and more in today's Hollywood Minute.
Police right now searching Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch.
This is part of an ongoing investigation.
He's the most famous man in the world, being accused of the most heinous crime in the world.
The official trailer is out for Michael Jackson, The Verdict. The docuseries looks at the iconic performer's 2005 child molestation trial, featuring interviews with people who were inside the courtroom. Michael Jackson, The Verdict premieres June 3rd on Netflix.
My mom and dad also taught me to dream. They taught me to believe and to pursue.
Kerry Washington's pursuits will be honored in New York. She's to receive the Spotlight tribute at this year's Gotham Television Awards for her career as an actress and producer. The third annual Gotham Television Awards are set for June 1st.
We gather here tonight to bring women back to their rightful place.
The Testaments is returning to its place. Hulu has renewed the Handmaid's Tale sequel series for a second season. Season 1 of the coming-of-age drama is now streaming, with the finale scheduled for May 27th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
The Oklahoma City Thunder have pulled even in the NBA Western Conference Finals. They got the win last night in Game 2 against the San Antonio Spurs. Well, it looks like right now the Thunder had a 30-point performance lead there with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Hope I didn't butcher that name. The Thunder ended up winning the game 122-113, and the series is now tied at 1 heading into Game 3 in San Antonio. You see, that game will be tomorrow night, and you can catch it right here on WRAL. Tip-off in San Antonio is set for 8:30. Your time is 4:56 this Thursday morning. Smoke for miles. The brush fire near 2 schools in Orange County and how long it took crews to put the flames out. Plus, reaching a milestone. The graduation's kicking off today in Wake County and what you need to know ahead of celebrations. And it's the final stretch. The Carolina Hurricanes are just a few wins away from the Stanley Cup final. A look ahead at their big game tonight, right here on Home.